Okay, I've got Willow's Gardens handle material came in yesterday, and this gentleman, who's getting the dinner skinner, also wants a neck knife, and I ordered the it's handle material that's similar to this, except it has a little more. Instead of the background color being purple, it's more blackish, and that's going to look real nice. And it's going to be in the plum Kydex with the plum camo paracord. So what I'm going to do, I've got that. I'm going to get all these three up to 220, and then I'm going to stop. I'm probably gonna. I got a mail. This is the fellow that bought the blue knife, the blue handle knife. I'm gonna go mail that today, and then I'm going to the store. I'm gonna get some green peppers, and I'm gonna solar cook some stuffed peppers today. My wife has got the ingredients all mixed up, and then I'm going to get this made up to this point. So I will grind the bevels on this and sand the bevels off and sand it up to 220 and get all 4 knives. That way I can ship this one and that one at the same time. So that's where we're at. And I'm going to be somewhat vague because I don't want any drama, but I have eliminated someone who I thought was a friend and then stabbed me in the back talking bad about my knives. So I've blocked him from commenting on my channel. I've removed him as a featured channel on my channel list. I blocked him from my Facebook page. I blocked his phone numbers. We are no longer friends. You only do that once, and the sad thing is it wasn't once, it was many times. And the last time was it. I'm not going to forgive it and look past it and pretend we're still friends when clearly he's one of those people you would call a frenemy. And the odd thing is I did nothing but be supportive and helpful and generous. And it's a real kick in the face. And at first it kind of hurt me in the heart, and now it's just made me freaking mad. I just can't believe it. But I'm not mentioning any names. I'm not watching his videos. I'm never going to comment on his videos. I don't want any comments about it in my comment section. It's done. It's over. And I'm moving on. And I'm past the point of hurt, and I'm at the point of mad. So I just wanted to get that out there, and that part of my life is finished for good. And there's no forgiveness for the 4th or 5th time bad mouthing my knives. So here we go. I'm going to get back to work, and it's over, and I don't even want to talk about it. There's only a couple of people that know the whole story, and they're not video people, they're just friends of mine. So anyway, alrighty, we're moving on. Okay, let's see if I think that's gonna bounce around a pretty good bit, so we'll see. I am going to add a little bit more to that clip, just so you know what I have overlooked and tried to pretend it wasn't me he was talking about. The first time it was him talking about polished handles. I polish my handles because it looks nice. And he did a video because someone asked him about polishing his handles. And he said, I don't polish my handles like some people because your hands will slip off them and you cut your fingers. And I thought, okay, well, he knows I polish my handles, and I polish my handles because they look nice. And I don't think in the history of polished handles anybody's ever cut their fingers. So I just didn't say nothing. Moved on, pretending he wasn't meaning that towards me. And the second thing was just a couple of weeks later, and this was at the point when I was really gaining speed, I guess you'd say, on making, nice knives that I wanted to get to the point where I was very, very proud of them, and I was starting to get to that point. So this is when it was the most hurtful. So we had spoke on the phone, and I told him that I was using NASA grade epoxy, and I didn't peen my pins because, number one, if you peen your pins, you stand the chance of splitting your wood. Or if you're using synthetic, you stand an even greater chance of ruining the synthetic. And that's why I use the most expensive epoxy you can buy. It's NASA grade epoxy, and it's called the G-Flex West system. This is just one part of a two-part epoxy. It's expensive, but there's no better alternative. And there's been test after test on YouTube that people would put their knives in a vise and try to pull the handles off, and you have to cut them off. As a matter of fact, Redbeard Ops did a fairly scientific demonstration showing how strong two-part epoxies were at holding handles on the knives, and there's really no need for pins. Pins at this point, with the kind of epoxies we have available to us, are just for looks now. So in his video, he talked about how people might try to tell you that they don't need to peen their pins. And if they don't peen their pins, it's not a question of if, it's a question of when the handles are going to fall off. Okay, so that was number two. And I thought to myself, well, maybe he's not really meaning me. So I blew it off, moved on. The next thing, he talked about people who sit in sand for hours. He said, you got to be a fool to sit in sand for hours. I don't do that. That's why I got machines. I sit in sand for hours. Okay, well, he didn't mean me. We're friends. Why would he say that about me and my knives? And the last thing was, and this was the one where you just can't continue to ignore people who are purposely talking bad about your knives. And you have to admit to yourself that you've made a friend who is not really a friend. And this was polished knives. He was talking about shiny knives and how they don't hold their shine. And that was it. I couldn't take it anymore. It was obvious that these insults were clearly intended for me, his friend. And it's not the first time I've been kicked in the face by a friend. I had another friend who I thought was a friend and turned out to not be a friend. And at my age, I like being where I'm at, alone in my shop by myself. So there's that. So that's it. We're done. And I'm done trying to be friends and care about people that are not my wife or my kinfolk. You may figure it out who it is, and I don't really care. I'm not going to talk about it anymore or answer questions in the comments, and I don't want anybody going over to his videos and leaving comments, and it is what it is, and sometimes you got to realize that you made a mistake in a person's character and move on with life. And that's what I'm doing. These are my least expensive knives, and you know, the profit margin is, you know, I might make 30 bucks on them, but they are fun to make. And I think because there's so many colors of kydex I can pick from, and paracord and handle material, they're just fun, and they let you, these neck knives, they let you be more, I don't know, creative, I guess, with the colors. I got some deeper lines that are going to take a little more work to get out, so let me get comfortable. I must have missed them with the 180, but I can get it with the 220 here. In about another hour, the post office will be open, and I can go mail the blue handle knife for Patrick. And the name of his town, I wanted to text him because it's a fictitious town in a movie. But that's really the town he lives in. It was kind of funny when I thought he was joking at first. And then I looked it up, and there's really a town in that state by that name. I'm not going to say it because most people don't want you to know where they live. Okay, that line's coming out. Now do the bevel. No, I still got a little bit more there. So I'm going to turn these sideways. Get the last little bit of life out of this sandpaper. All right, now the bevel. Something's okay. There we go. That was a little loose. It's starting to get warm in here now. Now, Willow's Gardens knife. Are you still focused? You're not. What is the deal? When I put you in the holder, it's like, for some reason, you don't focus. I don't know what the deal is. Maybe it's focused. I can't tell. Huh. All right, we're done. Okay. I got it cleaned up and I got the Dicom on it. It's 8:30. I'm fixing to go to the grocery store and get some green peppers. And by then the post office will be open and I'll mail Patrick's blue-handled hidden tang knife. And then I'll get the bevel. Well, I got to go home and make up the green peppers and get the solar oven set up. And by the time the day's out, I will have this with the bevels ground and sanded up to 220, like Donald's and Willow's Garden and Patrick's other knife. So, we'll be back shortly.
That's still not good enough.
Who'd have thought that peppers would have took up that much room?
Yeah, I figured it would.
I'm gonna have to use two cookers, two ovens.
Okay, can you open that jar, shake it up a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, it's hamburger meat raw. Didn't cook it, which everybody cooks their hamburger meat before they, and rice, onions, peppers. This is hot salsa. Probably shouldn't put that much on there because it's hot. And I don't like bell peppers. If I ate one, it would kill me. Okay.
Okay. And now we go to the ovens. See you in about 4 hours. Okie dokie. The all-season solar cooker and the Haynes solar cooker. These things work great. I just about quit using my All-American. All right. Back from the post office, back from the... Oh yeah, you've already seen. We're in the house making stuffed peppers. So, what I'm gonna do now is mark my bevel lines and my plunge line. All right, I'll show you how I do that. I give the bottom of the ricasso, I give it about 1/4 inch on these smaller knives. And that's where I come in with my belt and start my plunge line, is right at that line there. Now, I determine how deep I want to make my bevel. Right about 1/2 inch is where I usually do.
Now I zero it. There's the where I grind up to. What I do is grind into my center line first, and then I start adjusting my jig and bringing my bevel deeper and deeper and deeper until I come up to that line. So let's get you mounted. Put some stuff away here. All right, let me go get these bevels ground. Okay. Now we hand sand this up to 220. That'll be cut up to all these, and then I'll move on to 320 for all 4 of them. Okay, I've got I've got the 180. I got the grind line sanded out, and now I'm working on 220. You can see some, I still got scratches here. Let me turn this off, see if yeah, you get a better sense of, no? You probably see some of the scratches here I still have to work on. But I'm at 220 now, so in 10 minutes I'll be done with 220, and then all these knives will be at 220. When I get this up to 220, I gotta go adjust my solar ovens. Up there, see that? And then I'm gonna start on 320. I just came up here to adjust my solar ovens, and while I was sitting here drinking water, I got to looking at my, I bought some really nice Chechen burl, very stabilized, very nice, from a Ukrainian guy. And I just went and looked at my old Etsy account where I bought it through, and he doesn't have an Etsy account anymore, it's closed. So there's another guy that I buy a lot of wood from, it's called Russian Wood. And I checked his Etsy account, his store is closed too. So it's amazing how the war over there can affect us here. There's another guy named Oleg. I've mentioned this before. And he's a Russian guy, and he's on Facebook. And I have 2 pieces of wood that I bought months ago. I may never see it. Who knows? We'll see. I can smell it. All right, I'm gonna go sand them knives up to 320 and then come adjust these again. Make sure they're aimed properly. I may be able to get up to 400 today on them knives, and then all I gotta do is get up to 600 and then heat treat them. Oh, Lord, 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 what a day. I'm gonna check and see what time it is. Man, it's already after 2. So I'm pretty sure that my stuffed peppers are done.
And I am sanded up to 400. So tomorrow I'm going to sand these up to 600 and then heat treat and temper them. So tomorrow, by the end of the day tomorrow, I will have all of these heat treated and tempered and ready to be cleaned up, buffed a little bit, and ready for their handles. And I'm waiting. I ordered some G10. I don't like working with G10. It dulls everything I have, every blade I have, even my bandsaw, my metal cutting bandsaw. But these handles that I've ordered are too thin, and I like my handles to be a little bit thicker, so I've ordered some Plum G10. And I'm going to use that on these two knives, Donald's and Willow's Gardens, because it's just a little thin. And stuff that I ordered for Patrick's knife is a little thicker. So, okay, God, my hands are killing me. Okay, everybody's up to 400. Tomorrow we sand to 600. My wife came down here and I had to cut a bunch of wood for her. I still got sawdust falling off of my clothes. She's building cages for tomatoes on the other side of the house, way over yonder. And she came down there and I told her that this knife shop is the happiest place I go. And I talked at length about the little backstabbing friend I had, and I told my wife, I'm just done with people, and I'm gonna put more effort into staying alone and being back here by myself. And I do have some good friends. Rob, I have two friends named Rob. One is in Florida, one's here near me. And I have other friends that I can call on the phone and speak to. They're not local, but for the most part, I'm just going to stay back here and make knives. Me and my wife, when we ride, actually saw a guy that we have rode with on numerous occasions, and he asked me why we're not riding. And I said, well, we're riding. We're just not riding with other people. And a friend of mine has a t-shirt that says, I used to be a people person, but people ruined that for me. And it's kind of the way I'm feeling now. I think I'm just going to do my best to just stay here in my knife shop and ride my motorcycle with just my wife. Because I'm always left with a bad taste in my mouth after you have like a betrayal, a friend betrayal. And you know, I won't, I'm done. You know, I've said that before, but this is the last time I'll mention that ever. And but I am going to put far more effort into just staying back here behind my gate and working in my knife shop and staying the hell away from people. Okay? I'm going to go eat some stuffed peppers. I'll show you what they look like when we get them in. And that'll be the last clip. So, other than that, see you tomorrow.
There are some unmistakable odors, and some odors remind me of when I was a man in my teens. A certain form of tobacco, and I smell it. These are my tomatoes. My wife did all this. I don't get any credit. The most I did was cut some of the wood for her so she can build her cages. Isn't that neat? For these tomatoes to grow up through, and she'll probably take something and attach the tomatoes as they get bigger. Well, oh, we already got a tomato right there. Huh. Probably got more. There's another one. Okay, okay. And got cucumbers here somewhere. I think this is the one. The cucumbers are not coming up. I'm gonna give my stuffed peppers probably another 30-40 minutes or so, because we have had, just like right now, we've got clouds. We've had intermittent clouds all day, so I'm gonna give them just a little longer to cook. Okay, you ready? Oh, look at the steam coming off that. Okay.
Smells good. Sonny, get move, baby. What was it?
206, 207. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
there's a spider. Dang it.
All right, let's eat. Let's get a little bite of this. I don't know, that's still pretty hot, so. Too hot. This probably isn't. Oh yeah, that's good. Okay, let's eat.